Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today we're doing another book tag. Today we're doing the not off with your head, whoa, top of your head? Top of the head. What is it called? Off the top of your head book tag created by the library mouse. That's the tag name. It took a second to reel in the tag name, but we got there. With this tag, you're kind of supposed to just go with the flow, go with the first answer that pops into your head. You're not supposed to prepare for it. You're not supposed to read the questions beforehand. Just go with the first answer that pops into your mind. Which honestly, for me, sometimes the first thing that pops into my mind is not the best thing. Sometimes the first thing that pops into my head should not pop out my mouth. It should stay up here, not be unleashed, not come out, but I'm just gonna let it happen today. I'm just gonna let it out. Let it out. Let's get started with the book tag. First up, what was your favorite picture book as a child? Immediately, the first book that came to mind is Corduroy. I actually still have my copy somewhere from when I was a kid. I used to love this story and it's so wholesome and pure. I can still remember like bits of it. Obviously, I don't remember like the full thing, but I remember it being about a little bear who has a button missing and he decides that he is going to look around the store to find a button and attach it back to himself so that he can be a perfect bear. But I think if I remember correctly, the messaging of it is like, you don't need a button to be perfect, Corduroy. You're perfect as you are. And I thought it was just like the best story ever when I was a kid. I remember it just like brought me lots of comfort. The little bear character, which I think that Corduroy is the name of the bear character, if I remember correctly. Obviously, it's been a minute since I've read this book. Maybe I should do a reading vlog where I read picture books from my childhood. That would be a fun time for me. I don't know if it'd be a fun time for you guys, but like, I would enjoy that. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, if you have a little child, if you have a little kid, I highly recommend Corduroy. I think it actually ended up being expanded into like a series of books. But even as a kid, I was bad at series and didn't read all the books. But you know what? Maybe this is why I'm bad at series. Maybe Corduroy and the fact that I was not read each and every book in the series implanted in me at a young age that it's okay not to finish series. Not me trying to figure out why I'm so bad at series as an adult. What book series did you love as a child? Hold the phone. I'll be right back. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Are you still there? I hope you're still there. A series of unfortunate events. This is the bad beginning. This series literally raised me. I genuinely feel like my book taste as an adult, it all leads back to this book, leads back to this series. Like just the style of storytelling. I love a snarky narrator. I love really well written books. I love books that have a death and grief element in them. I just feel like everything that I love as an adult like leads back to this book series. Like it's very clear how influential this book series has been on my life. And to think that my mom almost didn't let me read this as a kid. Like, what a tragedy that would have been. I'm glad that she gave in to my pleading and begging and finally let me read the series. Sometimes you gotta beg, sometimes you gotta plead. I promise I wasn't a brat as a kid, okay? I just really wanted to read these books. What's the worst book you've read or tried to read? I don't know why, but immediately the first book that is popping into my head is this YA book called 10. I feel like I read this book like 7 or 8 years ago. Like, it's been a minute. I believe this book was an Agatha Christie retelling. I think it was a retelling of And Then There Were None. I've read 0 books by Agatha Christie. So I went into this book without any context, no knowledge of the source material that it was inspired by. But in this book, we are following these kids who basically go to an island for a house party, and one by one they end up getting murdered. Because of the fact that I read it so long ago, I don't remember like specific details as to why I hated it. But I remember I was like rage reading it, and it was at a time in my life where I was not very good at DNFs. I'm still not the greatest at DNFing books, but like I'm getting better. We're getting somewhere. But I remember there were some aspects of like the characters. I think that the characters were like really annoying. And if I remember correctly, like I felt like the dialogue was like really trying to like be hip and with the times, and it just came off as like really cringy. I feel like I often cannot stand when I can tell that an author is trying their hardest to be relatable. Like I understand why you want to be relatable to your audience, obviously, but like sometimes it just comes off as too forced and it gives me constant eye rolls as I'm reading your book. Forcing relatability in your book can sometimes be its downfall. Next, your favorite reading or book memory. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This might get me some eye rolls because I know that I talk about this series too much and I've tried to like take a break from talking about it, but I'm gonna bring it up again. I did a vlog where I read back to back to back to back one of my all-time favorite series. That was the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, and that experience for me was so much fun. Like I loved reading those books back to back to back, rereading the original trilogy for like the 10th time, and then rereading some of the later books for the first time. I just really enjoyed that reading vlog. It was so much fun for me. I loved doing like all the activities and whatnot that I came up with. I think I did like a peculiar collage at some point. I did like a peculiar challenge. I can't remember exactly. And then I'll also say one of the 24-hour readathons that I did last year where I read the Wayward series back to back to back. That was so much fun for me. And I feel like honestly, when it comes to series, like that's just what I have to do. Like I have to force myself to read them back to back to back. It's not like a bad force experience, but like I really have to just like put my foot down and read the books back to back to back. And sometimes like documenting me reading the books is really helpful because like I have to update the vlog obviously while I'm reading the books. So I'm making note of the fact that maybe I need to do more series reading vlogs. So it can be like a double-edged sword situation because like one, it's really fun and really nice to like actually make your way through the series. But the bad part of it is that it like all gets mushed together in your mind. Like the series just like kind of bleeds together. And that's the only negative side effect. Like with the Wayward Children series, I will remember a specific thing that happens, but I don't remember which book it takes place in. Like it's just all mushed together. Next, a book you loved as a movie. I don't know why, but The Fault in Our Stars immediately popped into my head, which was a really fun movie experience for me, honestly. I'm sorry, fun and The Fault in Our Stars should not be together in a sentence. But I really loved the experience of watching this movie in theaters. I feel like The Fault in Our Stars was a very impactful book in my life. It was the first book review I ever did on this channel, and I just really loved seeing it come to life as a movie. Even though it is a devastating book, I loved it. I went and saw it in theaters with my sister and I full on cried at the end of that movie. Like full on cry, a full on sob fest. I don't even know if I would love that movie if I were to watch it today, but I also feel like that's not a very like rewatchable movie for me. Like I don't want to be devastated over and over again. A book you wish that they would make into a movie. Honestly, the first book that just popped into my head is You've Reached Sam. I feel like this book just like reads like a movie. Like I remember reading it and it just like fully coming to life as a movie, but I just feel like the quality of writing lends itself to a screenplay. So I would love to see this book be turned into a movie. This is another one that would honestly be devastating to watch, but I also feel like this is a book that could be shot so creatively. Like there are elements brought into this story that could just be brought to life in a really unique and cool way. Like I would love to see that be done. Next, a book character that you would like as a friend. Honestly, the first one that pops into my mind is so cliche, so I'm gonna scratch it, but I was gonna say Kenji because that's the first thing that popped into my head. But like Kenji would just be such a fun friend, but also like just such a loyal friend. Like I would love to have Kenji as a friend, but I also, no, we're not going with that. We're scratching that because it's so cliche. It's also very 2014 and I need to move on with my life. Ooh, I just thought of somebody. Wendell from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Honestly, I feel like I would probably get annoyed by Wendell in the same way that Emily gets annoyed by him, but I also feel like he's super funny. He's got some nice like one-liners. He's just a very charming character, and I'm honestly excited to read the sequel just for more Wendell. Give me more Wendell. I need more Wendell. Next, a place you want to visit because of a book you've read. Not to be cliche or anything, I say as I'm about to be the most cliche person ever, but Neverland. I don't want to grow up. I'm sick of growing up. Adulthood sucks. Responsibilities, wrinkles, bills, gray hairs. Ugh. That's how I feel about that. I've actually never read Peter Pan though, so I don't know why this is my answer, but it's my answer. Okay, we're going with it. I'm sick of being an adult. I wish I could just fly away to Neverland, take my entire book collection with me, and just read all day, every day. Okay? That's my escape plan. Next, what is a nonfiction book that you would recommend? It's up here on my bookshelf. Up here. Yeah. Got it. Got it. My recommendation is Gory Details. I read this book for the first time last year and it was so good. I will say I won't recommend this book if you have like a weak stomach, if you're grossed out easily, if you're somebody that just wants to keep disturbing things out of sight, out of mind, then don't pick up this book and read it. But it's filled with so many interesting facts and stories, and I have several markings in here, so let's open up a marking and I'll just share what's on that page. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing this section. I marked it because I was so disturbed. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Roaches are the most common invaders of the human body worldwide. In a period of 2 years, a South African hospital pulled a total of 24 critters out of people's ears. Ears! I'm gonna stop there because, like, it just gets even more disturbing, but that's kind of the vibe of this book. If you're interested in learning more things like that, then I definitely recommend checking out this book. The last question, if you could hang out with an author for a day, who would it be and why? Why did Shakespeare pop into my head immediately? No, thank you. I mean, that'd be cool and all, but Pass. This is such an interesting one because I feel like I would not pick one of my favorite authors just because like I am somebody who is fearful of meeting a favorite author and them not meeting my expectations or them just like ruining their books for me, because there are some times when you will meet an author in person and they're just not who you thought that they would be, or they're just like straight up not a good person and it ruins their books for you. So I feel like I would choose somebody that like I'm not super familiar with and just like hang out with them, see what they get up to. Actually, you know who I would love to hang out with for a day because I've seen like fantastic things about him. I haven't even read that many of his books. Like I've maybe read 3 of his books, but Brandon Sanderson, like he seems to be just like such a delightful person. And I feel like it would just be so interesting to kind of like shadow him for a day, see what his writing process is like, because boy is popping out books left and right. And they're not just like small little short stories. They're like thick books that are very well written, that have these elaborate worlds in them. And I would just like love to shadow him and just like see how he does it, see how the man works. Like I'm so intrigued. So I would love to shadow Brandon Sanderson, even though I have not read all of his books and I'm far from getting caught up. Like far. That is it for the off the top of your head book tag. Not the off with your head book tag like I originally said. I want to give you guys a question to answer off the top of your heads down below in the comments. What should it be? What should it be? Ooh, this might not apply to everybody, but what was the last book you gave to somebody as a gift? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.